Welcome back, boys and girls. This is part two of the recyclable bowl, done with paper. Now, by now, everybody should have already done a fairly large spiral. And if you'll notice what I have here, it's not quite 6 inches, but it is about 5. So this gives you a very good base. And this is all made with magazine sheets. What I did is that I wound up making a whole series of them and putting them off to the side. And I'll show it to you again just in case you forgot. And I'm using the long side, not the short side. The long side, I'm folding it roughly about 1/4 of an inch. Can everybody see that? 1/4 of an inch, that's it. And I just keep folding it straight across. I don't even have to put any glue on it. I don't want to make it too wide, I don't want to get it too sloppy. And I want to make sure that the edges are nice and tight. And I just keep folding it. Now, this one happens to be a plain one, but usually what happens is when you do with a magazine, you want to get some color. So the one that I usually like using is this one. So if I fold it on this side and I fold it up, this is the color that shows up. So I like using the colored ones more than I like using just the printed ones with the plain white background. The more color you have, the more interesting it looks. Now, like I said, I'm making a whole series of these, not just one at a time, and so I'm doing a whole bunch of strips at one time, and I'm putting them to the side before I spiral them. Now I'm going to take one right now, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and dry and nice and it doesn't open up. And I'm going to, like I showed you before, I'm going to put a little bit of glue right on the part that's folded on. I don't want that to show. I'm going to take my Q-tip. I'm just going to spread it out. I don't have to put a lot of glue. The more glue you put on it, if it starts to ooze out the sides of your spiral, what's going to happen is that it's going to take forever to dry. So now what I'm doing is that I'm not putting it between my fingers, I'm just rolling it onto the table. Everybody see that? I'm just rolling it. And when I'm done, I personally like doing it in my hands, between my fingers, but I know a lot of you weren't able to see me do that. So I'm going to show you a different way to do it, make it easier. And if you just leave it down on the table, and I'm just, again, putting just a little bit of glue, I'm just putting dots of glue. I'm not putting a heck of a lot of glue on this thing. And I'm leaving my glue bottle to the side. And again, I'm just spreading it out with my Q-tip. And I'm just continuing to roll it. It does make it easier. You know, I've never taught before on virtual, so it's a new experience for me. So forgive me if I'm not quite as accurate as I would like to be. If you have any questions, you can always email me online, guys, or post it on Edmundo. Okay, now, I've got my spiral. Everybody see that? What I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead of the curve right now. This is the base. Now you have two choices. You can either put these spirals onto the side of your base, which a lot of people like to do. It gives it a bit more interest. And if you're worried about that, the best way to keep it from falling apart on you is to get a very, very large rubber band. If you don't have a rubber band, a piece of string will work just as well. All right, but I'm just going to show this way. Now, the other solution for this is to take these and having this part, whoops, having the opening part down, and see this is already opening, so I should put a little bit more glue on it. And just hold it down for a couple of seconds. See, and it holds really nicely. So what a lot of people do is that they will put the glue directly, oops, let's open this up a little more. Open it up directly onto, whoops, what's going on with my glue? There we go. Sometimes it gets a little cakey. And you're going to put some glue. Hey guys, come on. I may have to change my bottle. let's try this again. There we go. Just a little clog. All right, again, I'm going to take my Q-tip. I'm going to just spread it around. Now, I don't have to spread it around a lot, but you want to put it on the edge of you want to put it on the very edge. Again, I'm going to take this again. These were done with my toilet paper rolls, and they work fine. You can actually share the materials together between what you're working with. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here next to it. I may have to put a little bit more on, because I just want to make sure it connects. Put my Q-tip down. And I'm going to put this down right next to it. Everybody see that? Can you see what I just did? And I'm going to keep doing that all the way around the base. I'm going to take, now like I told you before, they don't all have to be exactly the same size for this to work. Matter of fact, the more irregular they are, the better they actually look. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this down, and I'm not going to bother putting any glue onto this one connecting the other one. I can do that later. And if you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to do this all the way around. All the way around. I'm not doing it all the way around because I want to be able to show you how to build on this. And very simply, I'm going to take my next one. Again, they do not have to be exactly the same size. So for those of you that are perfectionists, please be aware it is not important for it to be exactly the same size. The more irregular they look, the better. So I'm going to put some glue on here, and I'm going to stick it right there. And I'm going to start building my bowl. Again, I'm going to put some glue right here. I'm going to use my Q-tip, spread it around. And again, you notice what I'm doing is I'm putting the end of the spiral down. I'm not putting it up. I'm putting it down. Can everybody see how I'm building this? It's almost like building a brick wall. You're stacking them and staggering them. Yep. My fingers are a little sticky, so try to avoid having that occur. All right? All right? And you want this to stay solidly. And then next, the next row would come up and it would go something like this. I'd put this right in the middle here. So you're going to be actually creating your bowl. Can everybody see this? I hope you can see this pretty clearly. Can everybody see how? So you're going to be going all the way around the edges, gluing it. If you put too much glue too quickly, it'll get mushy and start to fall apart. You don't want to do that. That's the reason why I told you use the Q-tip, spread it around, and then make sure that you put it down. Now guys, that's part 2. Part 3, we'll be finishing it. So right now, this is what I need for you to do. Make these stacks from the magazine sheets. And when I see you on Friday, we'll have a complete bowl, and then I'll show you what to do next. All right, you have a great evening, guys. Bye.